Those stories and much more for you with Laura Baines at the top of the hour right here on France 24. Welcome back, or welcome if you're just joining us. This is the France 24 debate. We're looking at whether or not the cartoons that came out this Wednesday in a weekly satirical newspaper in France, Charlie Hebdo, constitute freedom of speech or fueling hatred. And with us to talk about it is Ammar RABBO, photojournalist, Fady FADEL, Dean of the American Business School in Paris, Radu STOENESCU of Riposte, Laïque, and we have with us from Doha Tariq, RAMADAN, who teaches Islamic studies at Oxford. Now, just a couple of your reactions on the France 24 debate Facebook page. We have one from Michael, who says, free speech means equal mocking for all religions. He and several agreed with Michael. Several didn't agree with Michael, like Bruno from Nantes. He says it was only an opportunity of raising sales by taking advantage of the current controversy. I'm completely for free expression, but this decision is not only a step for more hate from radicals, but also a big stroke against free expression itself because it's irresponsible. While Adabong writes, being civic is the only way to prove the prophet we worship is worth it. I doubt if Mohammed himself will preach barbarism. Now, poking fun at religion has been a popular pastime in France ever since the 18th century. And this latest affair is, well, just the latest example.
Back in the 1970s, French comedian Coluche drew both laughs and criticism for his routines which mocked Christianity. Unsurprisingly, the Catholic Church was not amused.
The moment that it's God who is targeted, or Jesus Christ, we do not agree with that. We don't agree because it touches on the sacred.
Other comedians have used humour to fight such criticism. Pierre Desproges published this open letter to a cardinal.
Your Grace, allow me to express my indignation against the intolerable attacks made regularly on television against my militant atheism by your bigoted colleagues. I should add that I've also sent a copy of this letter to God, and things could get nasty.
For theatre director Jean-Michel Ribes, religion has to stand up to satire.
It doesn't allow condoms, abortion. You cannot have gay marriage. You can't eat pork, have long hair. So religion is everywhere in our society. From the moment religion becomes concrete, Jesus or Muhammad become public figures. I don't see how they can escape satire any more than politicians or the economy or the army.
However, there are those of no religion who criticise Charlie Hebdo's decision to publish now.
It's something that insults Muhammad, so it offends the whole Muslim community. Whichever way you look at it, there's uproar, which is very undesirable. Still, this is part of how democracy works, even if it isn't the most high-minded publication.
It's clear that the relationship between religion and satirists will always be a tense one.
And again, Tariq Ramadan, I got to ask you this question. France is a country of a lot of lapsed Catholics. And so is it a question of this is a big controversy and a hot button issue because it's Islam or because it's religion?
I think that we have fear. France has a very long history of tensions between state and religion. This is not about Islam. And so this is why the nature of, caricatures or cartoons or targeting religious people is something which is part of the French tradition. What is new now is the type of attacks against the Muslims, which is not based only on the fact that it's one religion among the others. There is something which is deeper than that. Islam is now the embodiment in France of the other, of these citizens who might be French Muslim citizens, but because they are Muslims, they are not exactly French. And there is a stigmatization. It's the type of relationship that we have with Islam is mainly based on a type of racism and stigmatization.
No, I can't let you
it's
say
not only
that.
Hold on, let Tariq Ramadan finish, please. Go ahead, Tariq.
This is why today, if only we had in France today the true secular system the people are talking about, and acknowledging the fact that Islam is a French religion, and to stop this kind of increasing target and attacks against Islam by some of the people, and some of are attending your discussion, all these people who are fundamentalist secularists are creating a new religion, and they are attacking Islam just to survive, because without the presence of the Muslims today, they would have nothing to say and nothing to promote.
Radu, STOENESCU?
Yes, I mean, everything on Tariq Ramadan is, it's false, because basically, if Muslims French are French, they have to stand the mocking. That's basically what I have to respond to. That is the Muslims are
and as we said in part one, most do.
Yes, most of them do. So that's why they have. If Islam is targeted, is because it's the only religion who cannot stand criticism in France.
No, that's not true. Of course. No.
Nobody
was talking about Christian, Catholic last year.
That was 40 years ago.
Last year there was a theater play in Paris with Jesus Christ. If you didn't hear about that,
nobody
I'm sorry.
bombed that. And speaking about the demonstration
Muslims,
in Paris, the last demonstration was banned last Saturday. Nobody said that, but we did that on Riposte Lake because we shoot the demonstration. And what was there, they called for killing the Jews in Arabic. But this is what was heard there. And this, if it was banned, is maybe because those people incited to that kind of hatred.
Let me put this to Ammar. Ammar, let me ask you this question, because there are American...
to this
Go ahead.
first, and then you... Yesterday, just the day of yesterday, I'm not talking about 40 years ago, yesterday there were, let's say, other stories involving Islam in France. There was the opening of the Louvre Museum about Islam, and there was something very funny. I have seen it nowhere, but there was the Ukrainian feminist movement, Femen, that came to France and opening an office in Paris, and almost half of the French feminist Femen who were demonstrating topless were of Muslim education. And some of the people working in Charlie Hebdo are of Muslim education. Do you say that on Riposte Lake? Muslims are not just...
I spoke about Salafism.
So then you talk about 100 Salafis, but you cannot say that
but
Islam...
the problem is that this time minorities are silenced by the majority.
Gentlemen, Fady Fadel, there's Americans in the newsroom who said to me, well, yeah, these Salafists, we don't agree with what they're saying, but so what if there's just a handful of them? So what if they demonstrate?
Absolutely. We are living in a democratic country. So if we want to, to show or to share our opposition to this issue or against the cartoons, we have to use the democratic means. And the democratic means include the pacific demonstration, not a violent demonstration, not organized demonstration as a pretext and then to react with violence, etc. So we have means in democratic society to share and to show our point of view and our opinion against an issue, or to support another thing. But I get that in this debate we are observing that we have kind of a conflict between two laws. We have the Islamic law, which banned the representation of the Prophet, and to offense the Prophet and to offense the Muslim faith and the other religious faith, that is the Islamic law. And we have the civil law, the French civil law, the secular law, which does not make difference between the religions. And the freedom of expression has one limit, which is the limit of the outrage or the insult. So in these cartoons, the Muslims, are they feeling that they are, offended, or do they feel that they are really insulted? So they have to prove it, not by demonstration, not by, violent reaction, but by showing, for example, the Charlie Hebdo. And the precedent in 2006, they do not, the complaint was rejected by le tribunal de grande instance because they didn't obtain gain for this, for this
particular issue.
Absolutely.